Okay guys, so today we're going to take what we learned yesterday, which was similar shapes and using proportions to see if they are in fact similar. And we're going to use that information to find missing side lengths. So again, just as a review, similar shapes are the same shape, but they may be a different size. They have congruent angles and proportional sides. So let's jump right into it. We're going to find the values of x and y together. So first, is there a set of corresponding sides that you have all of the information for? So we see here at the bottom, we have x and 4. So we're missing x. We have 2 and y. Those are corresponding sides. We're missing y. And we have 3 and we have 8. So these are the corresponding sides we're going to use to help set up our proportion. So let's go ahead and start with x, and then what's the corresponding with x? 4, okay? So you guys can choose either way you want to write it. You can either write a within proportion, which would be, like, for example, x over 3 equals 4 over 8, or you can write a between proportion. So for example, x over 4 equals 3 over 8. Either way, your cross products are the same, so you know that your proportion's correct. So we're going to go ahead and use our cross product to solve. So we're going to start with the diagonal with the variable. So 8x equals 3 times 4 is 12. Then we need to get x by itself, so we always divide by the number next to x. So 12 divided by 8, so x, 12 over 8. Well, I know I can divide both of them by 4. So it simplifies it a bit with 3 over 2. And I know that 3 over 2 is the same as 1.5, or 1.5. So I'm going to go ahead and fill it in over here. And now we're going to move on to find our y value. Alright, so y corresponds to 2 over here. So what we're going to do is write a proportion. And guys, I want you to use these corresponding sides up here, the red ones, 3 and 8, because although we could use x and 4, or 1.5 now and 4, if you made a mistake there, I don't want your mistake to then affect you finding y. So you can either write a within proportion. So for example, 2 over 3 equals y over 8. Or you could write a between proportion, right? So 2 over y equals 3 over 8. Either way, our cross product's the same. So I start with my variable and my diagonal. So 3y is equal to 2 times 8, 16. Divide both sides by the number directly next to my variable. 16 divided by 3. 3 times 5 is 15. 1 decimal 0, 10. 3 times 3 is 9. And it looks like it's repeating. So 5.3 repeating. But we should know what 5.3 repeating is. It's 5 and 1/3. All right, perfect. Let's keep practicing. So the next one, I want you guys to go ahead and write your proportion. So let's go ahead and label our corresponding sides real quick. So we have x, and we have 6. Now, if you see here, we either have 4 or 5 up top or 16 and nothing on the bottom. So we can't use our 5. That's extra information. We cannot use that because we don't have the measurement of the corresponding side. All right, so we're going to use this side on the left. So go ahead and set up your proportion and solve it. Okay guys, so you should have set up your proportion and solved it. These are 2 examples. Either way, you get 4x equals 6 times 16. 16 times 6 is 96. 96 divided by 4. 2 times 4 is 8. 16. 4 times 4 is 16. So x is equal to 24. Good. All right, so let's look at this one together. So IJK, and we have this symbol here, LMN. So what this symbol means is that it is similar to. So it's telling us they are similar. So that means these sides are what? Means the sides are proportional. So that means we can go ahead and use proportions to solve for x and y. Now they're going different directions, so it's really important that I use my colors to identify my corresponding sides. So here I have I, J are the first 2 letters. So IJ, corresponds to LM. LM. Okay, so go ahead and identify your corresponding sides. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and set up our proportions to find x and y. So I prefer within proportions. So I'm going to do x over 54 equals 28 over 42. And then let's go ahead and write our proportion to solve for y. So again, I'm going to use this side that I have all of the information for. So if I do y over 54, I have to do the corresponding side to y first. So 35 over the red over 42. So go ahead and do your cross product and solve. All right, go ahead and check your work. So I found that x was equal to 36 and y was equal to 45. All right, so your turn. Let's go ahead and make sure that we are using our colors to identify corresponding sides. Right, so x corresponds to 90, and then 13 corresponds to 130. So I want you guys to go ahead and write a proportion and solve for x. Alright, so go ahead and check your proportion before you solve, or maybe you already solved, but make sure that you got it right. This one's pretty straightforward. X over 13 equals 90 over 130, or you could have done x over 90 equals 13 over 130. Alright, next problem. So we're going to step it up a notch, and this one looks very confusing because we have a shape within a shape. So the very first thing that I need you guys to do is draw the 2 shapes separately. Okay, so you're going to draw your shapes. You're going to label them. So I know 15 is here. I don't know this full length here. It says 10 is there. That's the side of this one. And 12 is this piece here. Okay, so perfect. Once I label my corresponding sides, then it should be easy for me to solve for x. So make sure that we're still labeling our corresponding sides. All right, and you can go ahead and solve for x on your own. All right, so go ahead and check your proportions, see if you got it right. So either way, we have 10 and x in a diagonal, and the other diagonal is 15 times 12. So go ahead and solve for x. All right, last problem. We should go ahead and draw the figure separately, right? And then go ahead and do your corresponding sides and see if these two shapes are similar. All right, so go ahead and press pause and work on it. Okay guys, so once you draw your shapes, make sure that you go ahead and label them, your corresponding sides with the different colors, and then write your proportion. So either way, you will have 12 times x, and then you'll do 18 times 8. Now let's bump it up a notch. If you're trying to find AD, how would you do that? If you know 18, then you guys are going to find out x. This and this together equal 18. So if you know them separately, do the opposite to find that missing link. Alright, so we're going to keep practicing this today, and then we'll practice again tomorrow. Good job, guys.